Hey, Nick here, and I'm giving what I'm dubbing a narrator's introduction to the next book I'm planning on reading with you all, assuming that YouTube and the powers that be will let me keep these videos up. That's not always guaranteed. It is copyrighted material, but the book is William Golding's The Lord of the Flies, a classic that my partner recommended that I read for you all, and she thought you folks would find it relevant for the types of stories I've been reading, which have been about a lot of them are young adult books, and those of you who follow my channel, or you'll get to know me as I'm a father primarily, is what I identify myself as. My main motivation for reading these books is to capture something that will outlast me, or at least I don't have to always be there to spend time with them. I read this book for them and for their future selves, but I also am reading this for you, the young at heart, and for your children. So I do try to pick books that I think have academic value, that young adults and or their parents would enjoy listening to. And also, these are classics that I grew up reading when I was in school that helped have a big impact in my life and how I thought about the world and processed literature. So that's the reason I read them. I choose to read them. Nobody's paying me to do this. I don't have any other angle besides posterity. Right, and to give something back to the world. I'm a talkative person. I use my voice, my words, as a marketer and a content creator by trade in the corporate world during the day, and this is sort of my outlet, which I do in the marginal hours of the mornings or the afternoons. Now, with that preamble as to who I am and what I'm about, I do want you to enjoy spending time with me and reading with me. I do everything, as you can tell, in one take, often unscripted aside from the text that we're reading. So based on the feedback I get from people you should know, occasionally I will react to the content or the material, just like any human being reading along with you might. There might be a stumble or two. I might go, wow, that's amazing. Or I might even try to define something that I might know about, draw from my own knowledge and experience to define something quickly for you. I've received feedback from people who are going through classes and have assignments on these books and stuff like that, that's helpful to them. I've also received feedbacks from older folks or folks who've already read the book or just trying to get a free audiobook online, that sometimes can be annoying to them. I don't know which type of person you are. Maybe you give me a shot, listen to a couple of chapters, see if I grow on you a little bit. My style. It's honest, it's real, and it's affordable. I can actually pull this off on a no budget sort of project. Now let's get into it. Okay. Now you've heard this preamble. Let's talk about the book, The Lord of the Flies. I just love, it's almost chilling, the back part of it, the summary. So let's hear it out. I think the summary hooks you right in. It almost makes me scared to read the book, to be honest. When you read about it, you're like, oh my God. All right. Here's what it says. Golding's iconic 1954 novel remains one of the greatest books ever written for young adults and an unforgettable classic for readers of any age. Here's the synopsis. At the dawn of the next world war, a plane crashes on an uncharted island, stranding a group of schoolboys. At first, with no adult supervision, their freedom is something to celebrate. This far from civilization, they can do anything they want. Anything. But as order collapses, as strange howls echo in the night, as terror begins its reign, the hope of adventure seems as far removed from reality as the hope of being rescued. Right? Now, listen, I'm jumping to the very back of the book where there's some suggestions for further exploration, other books to read. And again, I think the setup for this is very telling about what we're about to experience and why it matters to us. Why reading a book from 1954 still could be relevant to us academically or just for reading pleasure for our own enrichment. Readers who are interested in stories similar to Lord of the Flies will most likely think of books like The Hunger Games, novels where other groups of young people find themselves caught up in a terrifying struggle to survive. Anybody read those books out there? Let me know in chat. Comments rather. But simply linking Golding's novel to young adult dystopias won't allow readers to consider the full range of questions the book is asking. Lord of the Flies is not only about survival. It's also about the human capacity for evil, the savagery of groups, fear of the other, and the breakdown of the social order. With the right pairings, readers can explore complexities of human nature as well as issues in our current world. Contemporary realistic fiction focused on the experiences of teens provides a starting point for exploration. As young adult critic Patty Campbell has written, the central theme of young adult literature is becoming an adult. finding the answer to the question, who am I? What am I going to do about it? The question surfaces at key moments during adolescence, but it stays with us in adulthood. In truth, it never goes away. Don't I know that? The novels and short stories suggested here, and we won't read off the whole list, explore this process of coming of age, along with the corresponding process of coming to terms with the darkness of the human heart. Coming of age and coming to terms, because it's true, let's face it, with the darkness that's in there of the human heart. With that said, and by the way, this preamble is written by, let's give her some credit here, folks. Sorry. Did she sign it? I have it up here in the front. It is, oh goodness. Suggestions, that was Jennifer Bueller, who did suggestions for further exploration. Let's get going, shall we, with Chapter 1, The Sound of the Shell. And I'll pause right here and start my next video kicking right off with this. That way you get right into the good content, but I suggest you offer this to anybody who's considering reading the book. And I'll see you on the next one where we kick off Chapter 1.